Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 here in Elm Creek. Look at the shoot, this dude is a farm manager. He's not someone that actually goes out to the fields very often. Not quite sure why he's cruising around on a scooter like this. You'd expect this man to be driving around in a Range Rover, not cruising around on a scooter like this. Maybe a Segway. Like, I could see him driving a Segway out into the fields, but this scooter, I don't know, it doesn't really fit the outfit, does it? It's going to get his loafers dirty. Poor chap. I tell you what, this scooter's pretty good. Off-roading like this. Couldn't ask for better. Right, where's he going to go now? He's going to get there, and he's magically transformed into someone a whole lot more handsome. Look at that. Right, anyway, we can leave him there for a moment, and we want to go to this tractor right here. All we need to do is just turn it round and get it started on the next bit. I'm going to move over to the other side of the field. And then we can roll this one. We've only got one more field to roll. We've got this one here, and then there's that field over there that also needs rolling. And then all rolling is finished. The planting's already done. So there's not much else that we need to do. And that'll be it then. We do have to get the fields rolled. But once the rolling is done, that's it. There is nothing else that we need to do. So let me just set the hired help going with that one. Right there. We've got everything else done. We've got 2 rounds of fertilizer on each of the fields. The rolling right there, that's the last bit. We've got, we're not going to bother with lime up there. And if we go back to growth, we've got now growth stages on all fields. The grass down there, well, it's just not been selected, that's all. But, yeah, so we've got everything that we need. Come harvest time, we'll also then be able to set up the pigs over here as well. So things will be looking great. Things will be looking absolutely fabulous. So while that one is doing some rolling, I'm going to take my tuned up e-scooter here, and I'm going to whiz back over to the farm. We've got not a lot else that we need to worry about, actually. Not at the moment. There's no major jobs that we need to do. The honey is been dealt with. Like I had issues with the honey, but that was down to me not knowing what was going on, and the actual honey now is doing great. We are so using this scooter on a more regular basis. The quad bike is brilliant. I love the quad bike. Called an ATV in the US. Has been pointed out that some people may get confused if I don't refer to it as an ATV. But some people may also get confused if I refer to it as an ATV instead of a quad bike. So, yeah. Yeah. This, actually, yeah. It's strange. The US and England separated by a common language. Right, I've got a whole load of stuff right here that we could probably go and sell. I got strawberries, 18,000 litres of strawberries here. Wait a minute. Am I, like, just about full of strawberries now? Tomatoes in there, 11,000. Strawberries up here, 18,000 in there. And then we've got the honey. Probably should sell some of this. And then we've got that one as well. Now, my big problem with selling... Oh, no, we don't have a big problem with selling anymore because we've gone and built that supermarket so that we would not have the issue with selling. So what we're going to do is we're going to load up this one right here. We're going to open this bad boy up. Not with that button. Not with that button either. I can't remember what button I need to press. Open the back door. No. Curtain sides. There. Right. That's what I wanted to do. And then I'm going to take this one around. I'll be careful not to drive over my scooter. I'm going to not load up... Actually, how much is the honey going for at the moment? Because honey actually is the best prices in March. So we're not far off. I've got small quantities of grain in here. We're not going to bother selling that. It's not going to be worth it, I don't think. And we've got a load of seed. But it's the honey. Where are you, honey? Where is it? Is it somewhere? I'm sure of it. Right, there we go. So the price is coming down. We've got our own supermarket right here. Beehive honey pallet location. How do you sell? Oh, you direct sell. You set it up for direct selling, and then it will just automatically sell it straight from there. So we are in April. The price has come down a little bit from the maximum back over there, but our supermarket is giving a very good price. So we will go and load up all of the honey that we can, and then we will also go and get all of the other stuff as well. Now I'm going to bring this one over here like this. AI worker A has completed their task. So first of all, let me just load this up. Love this trailer. I love this trailer. The script that uses these, that this is used with, has got an update on the mod hoster where you can add bales as well. However, the bales at the moment aren't that brilliant, or at least when I tried it, it was all right, but it didn't load very many. Now I don't know if that was a weight restriction or if it was just because it was only able to put one layer on. I had to alter a bit in the XML on one of the trailers that I tried out with it anyway, in order to be able to get it to fit. So bales will turn up. We will get bales, but I don't know how long it's going to be, and yeah, so at the moment it's not really doing very much with bales and stuff, but they will get here eventually. Now the only way that we're going to move this monstrous great big thing here is if we fold it all up like this. So that comes in around there like that. Love this thing. I really do. This thing is absolutely fantastic. Look at it. How cool is this roller? Does anybody use something of this kind of size in real life? Has anybody ever used anything? Like, even if you don't use it now, if you used one in the past. Because this is such a cool roller. Like, it is absolutely enormous. Has anyone ever used one, or does anyone use one now? I'd really like to know. I'd like to know a bit more about it. Like, if there is anybody out there that does actually operate something like this, because you have... I'm a little bit envious of you, it must be said. Like, when it comes to these great big machines like this, I really like them. I think they are really awesome. And the opportunity to be able to go and operate things like this from time to time doesn't turn up very often. So when you do get a chance to be able to do it, like, yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And I know that there are some people who live and work with these types of machines all the time. And where I live, I wouldn't be able to operate machines of this size, and I used to do a lot of farm work. I don't work on farms anymore, but that's personal choice. I did get the opportunity to operate plenty of different machinery when I was working on farms, just never really this kind of size. Like, I did operate some big-ish machinery, I mean big by UK standards when I was doing it, but that was like 20 years ago now. Every time I talk about this, it seems that it gets further and further away into the distant past. So the biggest machinery that I've driven was all around about 20 years ago. Since then, I've operated quite a lot of other machinery, but it's on a much smaller scale. But even then, it was big by UK standards then, which UK standards now was probably kind of middle of the range, I suppose. Things have changed in the last 20 years. And yeah, it was a long time ago, and the stuff that is now used fairly regularly on smaller farms is on a level with some of the stuff that I used to be able to drive when I was working on a bigger farm many years ago. And the thing with the UK is that a lot of areas it's difficult to get big machinery in, but there's definitely nothing of this kind of level. There are areas in the UK where things of this kind of level do get used, although not very much. I believe that they still operate on a smaller scale, and they tend to... Single pass operations are very popular, but it still tends to be that you don't have massive widths like this. That being said, you do get them in places. But mostly, you tend to get the really, really wide stuff like this, I've noticed, at least with the machinery that I've seen in this game, with a operations that aren't single pass. So you have a drill, and then you have a roller afterwards, and so on. So you have a few passes going across the field with these huge, great big widths. Whereas here in Europe, UK, and a lot of the continent, we've sort of not gone for the huge, great big widths of the machinery, but instead we seem to go more for a single pass operation. So the machinery itself is narrower, and you would get 6, maybe 9 meters in width, not a monstrous great big thing like this. And in turn, you would, so you do more passes, like you've got to drive them down the field more times, but the idea is that the entire operation is carried out in one single pass. And once you've done your one single pass across the field, that's it. You don't need to go back into the field, except for doing the spraying, which is usually separate. But yeah, so that's from what I can see, that's the difference. I haven't yet seen much evidence of single pass operation where it's on this kind of width. I mean, there probably is something like that. Guessing there probably is somewhere, but I have not seen much of it. Now, he's missed a little bit there, but by the time he turns around, he'll actually gather that up with a bit of roller on the side, which is why it doesn't matter. See? Look at that. And what's going to happen here? It's going to be a couple of passes. So while he's doing that, we're going to move to this one. We've picked up all of the honey that's there at the moment. Well, there's one more bit of honey over here that we're going to go and get. I've had that pallet sat there for ages, so it's probably a good idea if we go and get that one. So we'll grab you right there, and take all the straps off a minute, and then load up that pallet. You can go on there. And then we will move on up this way. We'll spin round like this, and then we're going to start loading up these strawberries, because the strawberries are the one that we've got most of. There's hardly any lettuce there at all. There are some tomatoes in storage, but not a great deal. It's the strawberries that we're really full on, so we'll start with those. Get as many as we can, and then we're going to go over to our new supermarket. We're going to do some deliveries over there. Let's pull up to there like that. Take all the straps off again, and there we go. There's the first little lot. If I go forward a bit. There we go. Right, what I want to do is I want to wait for it to there, like that. And then I can sort of gather up the whole lot as it's putting out the pallets as well. Okay, I've gathered up everything that I can, and we're now completely full. So we've got strawberries and honey on board. We will close this bad boy up for the transport. Right there. And then we'll come back again and we'll get another load. I'm going to take as much as I possibly can. Get it all over. AI has... No, you haven't completed anything at all. What exactly have you completed? You've turned round. You managed to do that. I'll give you that. You have actually managed to turn yourself round. Give yourself a pat on the back. I suspect, though, I'm going to need... Let me just nurse this one down to the end of the field, because I reckon that he might end up trying to turn round. And if the roller goes over onto that field over there, we're going to lose all that crop. So we don't want to do that. Then we can go and check out our new supermarket. And after that... don't know. I guess we just kind of fast forward to harvest. Oh, no, not fast forward to harvest. May, we want to start doing our mowing. We're going to need to get going with the mowing. I'd almost forgotten all about that. Right, you actually going to just stop there? Okay, I'm impressed. Right, well, I'm just going to leave that one there to fold up. We've already just seen it folding up, so we can leave it there. And I am going to attempt to leave via this ramp that I built right here, which does actually seem to be okay. It's not brilliant, but mainly I suppose I should have moved the greenhouses back so I could have more ramp, but I still think it's okay. Now, where is the actual greenhouse? Greenhouse? The supermarket. I can't remember now. We go along that road and then down here, and the supermarket I built just there, didn't I? So if I turn down this road, I'd have to come all the way down to the bottom, along, and then all the way back up again. It's a lot quicker to go that way. So we do actually want to turn in this direction in order to get to our supermarket. truck doesn't like turning back on itself like that, does it? Not really. But it works. Right. Let's get to the supermarket and sell all of this produce. We've got 18,500 litres of strawberries, and we've got 9,200 litres of honey right now. We can't have been gathering it with... There's a stop sign there. There's stop signs everywhere. Is it actually like that in America? In the US? I say America. You're not supposed to actually say America because that is, you know, a continent and not a country. The US is a country. Is it like that in the US? Is there stop signs everywhere? Because here in the UK, you do get some stop signs. There used to be more, but they actually made a conscious effort to try and get rid of most of them. So we have give way signs everywhere. And I think in the US, you call them yield signs, is it? Is it the upside down triangle? It's give way on our roads, and almost every junction is give way. There are still a few stop signs, but stop signs are very, very few and far between in this country. And it was done deliberately so that stop signs were taken more seriously. At least that's the understanding that I have of the matter. It was done, like, they started something like 30 years ago, actually going, like, there was some effort. I can't remember what it was. I remember hearing something about it on the radio, that they were deliberately removing stop signs. And anywhere that there was a stop sign, they were assessing it and deciding whether or not they could remove it safely, so that the stop signs were deliberately made few and far between, which meant that... I'm going to open up this one a minute so that we can see it all being sold. If they were few and far between, it meant that when people came to a stop sign, an actual stop sign, they would treat it a lot more seriously. And, you know, the stop sign is there for a reason. It's there because the traffic at like that particular junction is more dangerous than usual. So that's why they started getting rid of a lot of them, so that the few that are there, people would treat it more seriously, as intended. And I think it's worked. What hasn't worked is the placement of this down here. We need to do some work with the road. So anyway, that's my understanding of stop signs and so on the roads in this country. Right, we can start moving forward. We can get the next lot in there. And I'm going to take the straps off there and dump those down. I had no idea that there is actually a small noise being made. So we've got 24,000 there, plus I also got a bit more previously. So we got a decent bit of money coming from there. Now, the issue that we've got is that the road is not brilliant around here. Not this side so much as the other side. So we're going to need to do a little bit of work on that. Unfortunately, folks, I know that some of you get fed up with me doing too much of this. Sometimes it needs to be done. Right. So we've got here a bit that needs to be kind of smoothed out a bit. But I think what we'll do is we'll start off by just... I see. I can't raise that bit because of that sign. And that sign is part of the base game. I can raise around it over here. But where the actual sign is, it won't let me lift it up or move it. It's a bit of a shame. Right, because we have got this mod that in theory allows us to sculpt and do things near, like anywhere on the map. But it doesn't actually work properly. It doesn't actually allow us to do it anywhere on the map. And so it does get somewhat frustrating. So because we've got this bit of road here that we can't alter right there. I can't alter any of that. I can alter the bits over this side, but I can't alter any of that. So what I'm going to do instead is, if I go to painting and I alter this, bring that out there like that. So we'll just make the entrance here a little bit smaller. And that way it should discourage people from driving down over there. That's kind of like the edge of it just there. Right, and I'll do that. And then I'll put in a bit of grass up around here as well. There, okay. Right, that should help there. Now the other bit was back here. And that bit, I'm pretty sure I will be able to. We need to go to that bit of sculpting right there. And that takes the level that you've got up here, and then it extends it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend that level out over this way. Further. Back over there, like that. Because that is staying much the same there. Right, it's just lifting it up a little bit around that fence. That's fine. I'm quite happy with it doing that. And I want to bring it up over here as well. Right, it's gone up really, really high here, which is going to end up being too high. So now I'm going to switch out again, and I'll make that a bit bigger there. And now we can start blending this down again. Over here. And I'm moving most of what I did back down again, but not all of it. And what I'm hoping is that now we'll have sort of a gentle slope rather than something a bit more severe. And the truck will be able to get round. So let's just try that out a minute. I'm not going to spend very much longer doing this. I just wanted to make sure that that's right. So we can come in here, and I don't need to be going over near that sign. I can come in there like that, and I'm on the edge of the track that we've got coming in round. That works just fine going in there. I no longer have any rough patches as I go through. And then I come out this side and swing out round. So what I will do, that bit there is fine, but I think... Well, I don't know, actually. If you look over here, we've got grass just coming out onto the edges a little bit. I think we need to just move that back a little bit. So we'll just get rid of the grass out on the corners there. There's a little bit too much there. So if I go back into here, we go to landscaping. And it's just around this corner. I wish it wouldn't do that. Right. It's kind of these bits around here. So we'll go to painting. And I go to this one. And I'll paint back the grass a little bit so it's not growing into the concrete. Look better if it's not growing in through the concrete. Like that. And we'll just move the bit of concrete here on this corner out a little bit more. Kind of like just give it not quite a complete square edge, but square it off a little bit more. And move up as well. More that way. Because what we're doing is we're just giving the truck enough room to swing round properly without the front wheels going down over the edge of the concrete. And if you have a great big heavy lorry coming along and bouncing down over the concrete... bouncing down over the edge of the concrete too much, it cracks the edge, and we don't want that, so we've kind of just moved it back. Now, most deliveries coming to a supermarket would probably be, or a small supermarket like this, probably wouldn't be in a lorry that size, so we want to cater for it, but we don't need to expect a lot of traffic, so we don't need to make it any bigger than that. So we're going to go back home now and get another load. Now, let me just have a look on here a minute. If I go out this way and I go onto that road there, I can come off of the road up onto here, can't I? And it's this side that I need to drive on, because everything's all back to front. And yes, I've actually had people complain that I'm saying that it's back to front, because it's not back to front. Apparently it's the correct way round, and my country is back to front. The country you grow up in is the correct way, and any other way is back to front. So for me, this is back to front. So I'm going to keep saying that this is back to front, regardless of how much it may offend you. Sorry. Hashtag sorry not sorry. Now we're going to... nobody's offended, by the way. So we want to come off of the exit right there, and then we go up this way. I don't know if this is faster than using the side road. I'm curious what it's going to be like if we try and do this going in the other way. We'll see if we can do that, whether or not the road network will... I'm not going to look at the map and see if the road network will let us do it. Probably should have paused there to give way. And now I've seen videos, like I quite like watching the idiots in cars videos on YouTube from time to time, where you see crash compilations and things like that. And sometimes it looks like people are driving in this lane as the slow lane, and then this lane as the passing lane. But that doesn't seem right. Surely this is the slow lane, and this is the lane you would normally stick to, and then you pass coming in to this lane in here. So which way round is it? Because some of the videos that I watch, I can never really tell. Now in the UK, we drive on this side of the road. Okay, so if you've got a double lane road like this is the lane that you stick to, the left-hand side, and this is the overtaking lane. That's it, all the time, right? So you've got this lane, and then you've got this lane here. Now, if it's busy, you'll have both lanes being full, or if, you've got traffic turning off this way, they use that one, and so on and so forth. But generally, if you've got like a highway, for us that's a motorway, or a dual carriageway, which is a smaller version, you have the lanes here, and you have that one is a slow lane, and then you have an overtaking lane. If it's a motorway, it has 3 lanes, or possibly even 4. And so you have more lanes, and these are all overtaking lanes. There's not much traffic on the road. You're supposed to be in this one. If you get found driving along a road in this one or this one without any other traffic over here, they can actually give you a ticket for it. I don't know what the ticket is exactly, but I know that you can get a ticket for it. So anyway, what's the rules and regulations in the US? If I was to ever go to the US and they foolishly allowed me to drive around on the roads there, what am I most likely to be getting a ticket for? That's what I want to know. Like, I don't want to be driving in the wrong lane. I don't want to be getting tickets for driving in the wrong lane. I'm counting on you all to inform me here. So just on the off chance that I ever turn up in the country, I don't want to be then making a video to say, look, turned up in the US, driving along the road, I did what you all said, and now I have a ticket. Is there any particular reason? Why have you all let me down here? Now, we're going to bring that one back up there and pull on forward a bit. So we've only got these 6 pallets left. Load up those 7 pallets. And strap them all down, and then we'll move on and we'll get the cabbages. Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.